Hi everyone, and welcome to the CloudZone and AWS joint webinar around why startups love to migrate to AWS. My name is Ori Tabachnik and I'm the CRO of CloudZone. With me today is Gili Lichtman, Startup Business Development Manager at AWS, and Moshe Moses, the founder and CEO of Gamoshi. Our agenda for today, Gili will start with an overview of the various programs and resources that are available for startups with AWS. She will take us through the technical, the business, and the go-to-market support that AWS provides to startup companies. I'm gonna continue with a blueprint of a successful migration and a framework that CloudZone has to support customers from A to Z in migration to AWS. And Moshe will close with his customer success story around the successful migration from a different cloud platform to AWS. So with that note, I will pass the ball to Gili Lichtman. Thank you very much for joining us today, Gili. The ball is yours. Thank you.
Thank you, Ori, and thanks to the entire CloudZone team. I'm really happy to be here today. My name is Gili Lichtman. I'm a Startup Business Development Manager at Amazon Web Services, and I'm going to be walking you through our different startup programs. In the session, we'll dive into the startup programs that you can leverage at AWS throughout the different stages of your startup journey. But before we get started, I'll tell you a little bit more about myself. I was born and raised in the US, born on the East Coast, raised on the West Coast, and made Aliyah in 2005. Before joining AWS about a year and a half ago, I co-founded a travel technology startup, and during that 5-year journey, I led sales, marketing, and partnerships globally. So I actually come from a startup background as well. Today, as a Startup Business Development Manager at AWS, I work with startups in Israel from early to late stages, helping them both on the tech and business side. So AWS is not just a technology company. It has huge implications to the way that companies conduct their business and in the speed and cost of innovation. As AWS is in the business of innovating on behalf of customers and accelerating their growth, we have a dedicated team comprised of ex-startup founders like myself, former investors, and startup executives. Our team is aligned with VCs, accelerators, and other startup organizations to help their portfolio companies with both their business and technical needs. So what exactly does our team do? We don't invest cash for equity, but we do invest our own time, knowledge, experience, and resources across AWS and Amazon that can help you open doors and remove obstacles in order to further your growth. Our team has a network across AWS teams and regional borders, and we're able to leverage that global footprint to connect you with resources where you need and also champion you internally. Our team hires people who have direct experience in building startups so that we can act on your long-term interest. By doing so, we strive to build lasting relationships with our startup customers. So the resources that we provide access to include technical guidance, as well as sales and marketing resources on Amazon and AWS's platforms, both for physical goods and also for software products, including benefits from AWS startup programs, also making introductions to investors or enterprises when there's a potential partnership or mutual interest, and in certain cases, also general business mentorship. And we support startups from foundation and up until growth stages, while tailoring our programs and resources to fit each stage of your startup life cycle. One of the programs that we offer startups is AWS Activate, which offers startups free tools, resources, and more to quickly get started and also grow on AWS, while helping you offset costs at the earlier stages of development. The program can provide you with up to $100,000 in credits, depending on eligibility. You can also visit our Floor 28 website in order to find additional information on startup programs here in Israel, including our Builderspace Accelerator program, which is a 10-week program currently running virtually, which provides with direct access to technical experts and business experts, workshops, and events. There's also our recently launched Founders Club, which is dedicated to early stage startup founders and gives you access to exclusive networking opportunities, resources, and perks. and also our Ask an Expert program, which enables you to schedule an on-demand one-on-one virtual meeting with one of our solutions architects, where you can discuss any questions you have around AWS architecture, including cost optimization questions or dilemmas around services and features and more. So the startups here who are considering moving a significant workload to AWS may be able to receive support if you qualify for the AWS Startup Migrate program. In certain cases, we may be able to help you offset the cost of migration within a given time frame and provide additional support to help offset a portion of the cost for the execution of the migration carried out by our partners at CloudZone. We work in close partnership with CloudZone, who can provide hands-on support throughout the migration process and will help take the project from the planning stage to a successful deployment. In addition to the migration program, we have the well-architected review, which is designed to ensure that your AWS workloads are secure, high-performing, resilient, and efficient. An AWS Solutions Architect will walk you through a framework of 5 pillars for the review, including operational excellence, security, reliability, performance efficiency, and cost optimization, and assess your workload according to each. There's also a self-service guide online if you prefer to walk through it on your own, or these reviews can also be done in partnership with CloudZone's skilled and experienced architects who can help support you during the next steps. So not just the review and the recommendation, but actually helping you with the hands-on keyboard development in optimizing your architecture. So we talked a little bit about programs that are aimed to help you on the technical side. And now we'll move on to talking about some of our business related programs, or in other words, programs focused on helping you with go-to-market. So AWS serves a wide array of customers, from startups to large enterprises across various different sectors. And the AWS Connections program facilitates relationships between AWS enterprise customers and also startup customers in order to solve the need of an enterprise and in turn also help grow the startup. We start off by identifying an AWS customer's business and technical needs focused on the enterprise's use cases. And then we search for startups who are offering solutions to fulfill those exact needs. We work backwards from the enterprise need and reach out to relevant startups that we identify as fulfilling that need or use case. The AWS Partner Network, or in short, APN, refers to the vast community of companies who have partnered with AWS to provide professional services or software solutions to accelerate cloud adoption for other companies. The APN program consists of a tiered structure for partners to grow their AWS-based businesses, which will range in a number of benefits from proof of concept credits, technical training, sales and business enablement support, and also co-marketing opportunities. For example, joint events or co-marketing initiatives around case studies and PR. Software companies can accelerate their sales cycle by joining the APN community. So in addition to the APN, which is really a great way to leverage AWS as a go-to-market channel and do that in a proactive way, you also have the AWS Marketplace, which is a digital catalog of thousands of software listings from independent software vendors that make it easy to find, test, buy, and deploy software that runs on AWS. The AWS Marketplace provides a new sales channel for software startups to sell their solutions to AWS customers. Customers pay for AWS Marketplace software as a part of the AWS billing cycle, which is great in terms of helping shorten sales cycles. And they can also choose one-click purchasing. Customers can also choose to share their contact data with vendors through the AWS Marketplace Product Support Connection feature, which makes it easy for you to support your customers on AWS Marketplace. So if anyone here has a physical product, maybe, for example, a smart device, Amazon Launchpad provides education, merchandising, and global infrastructure to entrepreneurs and startup companies to sell and deliver innovative products to millions of Amazon customers. That includes onboarding support, marketing services, and training for continued growth on Amazon.com. So you can actually go online and search for Amazon Launchpad, and you'll be able to see the types of products that are offered there, anything from snacks and all the way to smart devices. And we'll finish with this last topic, which is investment vehicles. Although I mentioned in the beginning of our presentation that our team doesn't do equity investments in startups, there are other teams across the broader Amazon that do, and they focus on specific areas. So, one example of this is the Alexa Fund. The Amazon Alexa team has set up the Alexa Fund to provide venture capital funding to fuel voice technology innovation for developers, device makers, and companies. The Alexa Fund is focused on how voice technology can improve customers' lives, from early stage pre revenue companies that are just starting out and all the way to established brands. In addition to the Alexa Fund, there's also other investment vehicles like the recently announced Amazon Climate Pledge Fund, which is focused on startups that are helping Amazon and other large corporations meet their climate pledge goals. So I'd like to finish this presentation by thanking the CloudZone team for the incredible partnership and the opportunity to present at this event. And also thank you for listening. And I hope to hear from you if you have any questions on these programs that I spoke about earlier. If you'd like to talk a little bit more about your startup and how these programs can help you on your journey, please feel free to reach out to me. I've put my email here on the presentation. Or you can feel free to reach out to your AWS account manager or your contacts at CloudZone. And I look forward to hearing from you. Now back to you, Ori.
Cool, thanks Gili, that was insightful. So let's go through CloudZone in a nutshell. CloudZone was founded in 2009, which is a long time ago in the cloud business, and was later acquired by Matrix, the leading IT company in Israel. And Matrix has more than 11,000 employees worldwide and is basically providing services in Israel to the wide public sector, enterprise, and SMB segment. Very successful company, very powerful. CloudZone specifically was the first AWS partner, consulting partner in Israel, and later one of the 2 AWS premier consulting partners around. In EMEA, just as a general knowledge, in EMEA there's a few dozens of a premier consulting partner. In Israel there's only 2, and it's the highest level of partnership with AWS, which brings a lot of experience, a lot of relationship and know-how when it comes to dealing with AWS from the commercial side, the technical side. Of course, apart from AWS, we also consult around Azure and GCP, holding the highest levels of partnerships over there as well. So overall, if you look at the general picture, we bring a lot of knowledge and experience from the traditional worlds, kind of bringing it from the Matrix side of things, plus the experience we have in all 3 cloud vendors. And this becomes a very powerful machine, very well experienced with knowledge on traditional worlds as well as the cloud worlds. In general, CloudZone provides both consulting, operational, and delivery services, and we're going to go through that in detail in a second. If we're talking about customers, you can see that we hold a very wide portfolio across both industries and segments. If we're talking about the huge startup community in Israel, very well experienced and very well advanced. So we serve many startup companies as well as enterprise companies who are adopting the cloud and going through very, let's call it, complex and massive processes. So all of these customers and a very wide range of them are being served by CloudZone. Today we're talking about hundreds of customers, probably going to get to 1,000 in the next year. So when it comes to the AWS professionality and who we are, these are just the various badges that CloudZone holds with AWS. For those of you who are not familiar, AWS carries out programs, competencies, and for each program or competency, it's a huge bar raiser that comes to define between the levels of professionality that a partner holds. Specifically, I think that what's very relevant to today's webinar is our competencies in DevOps, in security, and in migration. And just a little soundbite about what it means to have a competency. So apart from the certifications and the tests and the trainings that we need to go through when going through a competency and getting this stamp from AWS, what I like about these competencies is that they actually, in order to get one, you actually need to go through actual successful projects and and actual customer testimonials. So when you head out to a partner who's got a migration competency, you already know that this partner has gone through many complex and massive projects in his backpack. Apart from that, very happy to take pride in the DevOps Partner of the Year. Dozens of DevOps projects throughout 2020, very successful ones, and I'll go through that in a bit. So migrating your workload to AWS, from whether it's from on-premise or from another cloud vendor, it's not an easy decision. You usually find yourself in a pretty challenging environment for a while until you consider this move. What I want to do now is actually take you through the CloudZone blueprint of a successful migration project. What do we do to make you feel comfortable through every step of the way, and how we help you to first evaluate and all the way to a production environment in AWS. So the first step that you want to take, and that's a non-binding step, is to schedule a migration discovery workshop with our team of experts. Such a team of experts includes a business stakeholder and an architect. And usually we're going to choose the architect that is most relevant for your set of technologies. And throughout this discovery workshop, we're gonna dig into your business, to your product, your challenge, your future roadmap. What are your plans? And again, mostly what are you challenged with, and that's an open discussion that we're gonna take in order to have a go no go on the rest of the project. Okay. The deliverable from such a workshop is usually to understand the migration path that we're gonna take and to get to an agreement that we do want to continue. So the next step will be the phase we call assessment. In the assessment, we're gonna go through a process we call system review. In a system review, it's a set of sessions. Usually, it's between 3 to 8 sessions where we basically analyze to detail your existing architecture, your existing product. We ask a lot of questions until we understand what is how your system actually looks like. And then we go ahead, we take it home, and we start designing your brand new AWS architecture. So in the end, we're going to come up with 3 deliverables. The first one will be an architecture design, well architected. The reason I chose to put well architected is because all of our designed architectures are complying to the AWS well architected framework, which means that we use a set of best practices in order to design our architectures, so you can rest assured that they will be cost efficient and reliable and durable and highly available. Cool. To your new design, to your new architecture, we're gonna basically attach a TCO, a total cost of ownership, which is a very good estimation of the cost you're expecting to see once you move to AWS. In a total cost of ownership, we're usually going to show you a few alternatives, the on-demand costs, and what happens if you're going to be optimized and commit to the saving mechanisms that are available in AWS, like Arise, like saving plans. So you'll have a very good idea of what are you expected to pay. And finally, to get from A to B from your existing environment to AWS, you need to go through a project, an actual project, hands-on, and this will be described in the SOW. It's a big document that basically have lots of phases, each one of them is divided into tasks and to an effort estimation, so you can really grasp the volume and the size of this project, whether it will take 4 weeks or 4 months. You'll have it all. So we've got the go and we've got the design, and the next step is the step where we start working for you. This phase is called Source the Force, and we have a pretty streamlined and well-oiled machine to make funds available for your project. The CloudZone familiarity, our partnership level, and our familiarity with the various programs that are available to fund such projects is a huge advantage for you as a customer. You don't need to focus on the AWS side. You keep focusing on your product, and we're going to do the work for you. And as a migration competency partner, we also have a few programs that are exclusive to partners like us. Okay, so we're gonna go with with the SOW, with your architecture design. We go ahead to AWS, and we basically making these funds available. What kind of funds are usually available? So funds as platform credits that will make this coexistence between two environments reality, right? We need to offset the cost of AWS while we're still not migrating 100% of the workload. A second thing is partner project funds, right? So a 400 hours project can cost quite a lot, and AWS makes it available makes credits of actual partner funds available in order to offset the partner work in such a project. So that's a huge advantage of using a partner for migration projects, since lots of times the work itself is funded. Finally, every expert, our very tight relationship with AWS allows us to bring every expert from locally or globally from AWS to support your migration. So if there's any technological domain that needs support, we're going to make sure to allocate the resources for this project. So finally, it's time. We got everything. We got the funds, we got the design, we got the go. All we need to do is to head out to the project itself. A huge differentiator that CloudZone holds is the ability to take on any kind of delivery, any kind of project, whether it's complex, massive, advanced, bring it on. Okay? A project in CloudZone entails a few professionals. Your account manager will basically escort you to the entire process. A project manager will be assigned to the project, the solution architect that designed the architecture in the first place, and a senior professional services engineer that will do the hands-on work. Now, a project can have a few models. A turnkey model where we take the entire piece A to Z and we work that out and deliver it to perfection. Or, and most likely, we work with our customers as one team, as one project team, and deliver the project together, and taking our own tasks, assigning tasks to the customer, and sewing this entire project from A to Z. So we looked at the overall step-by-step guide. We actually see that it's a very streamlined process from the discovery workshop through the assessment, the funds, and the project itself. We've seen migrations that are done within 3 months of the entire process. Some complex one took between 4 to 6 months, but overall, it's a very fast and well thought of process. Alright, so welcome to AWS, congratulations. We finalized the projects and now we need to manage this event. So I want to describe the day 2 operations, or in different words, what are the set of services that CloudZone will put in front of you? What are the resources that are available to you as our customer in order to make sure you continue your journey successfully. So As part of the billing consolidation model, CloudZone has 4 types of resources that are available for our customers without any additional cost. The first one is the technical consultancy. We have a team that is constantly growing. Currently, we have 8 architects that are experts, each one of them in their domain, and all of them are very well experienced with AWS. The access that you have is unlimited to this kind of consultancy, whether you want to simply ask a question, whether you want to design a new workload, whether you want to create any workload evolution in 3 months, in 6 months, you will always have an architect that escorts every move that you take, every decision that you make. Technical support, a team of engineers, technicians that is always there in order to support you with any technical issue. Simply open a support case with CloudZone. We'll make sure to escalate it to AWS if necessary. Also, these guys can offload some of the more simple work, more DevOps work for our customers. So in case you have any missions that you would like to offload to us, our tech support team would be happy to take them. On top of this tool, which is a common denominator for us to work on, for cost monitoring, we use the tool called Cloud Health by VMware, a very familiar and robust monitoring and analysis tool that is used to monitor your costs, create perspectives, reports, alerts, basically everything you need in order to be very, very well aware to the cost you're incurring using each one of AWS services. This tool, by the way, supports all of the platforms and all of the cloud platforms as well as on-premise, so it can provide a very good solution for customers who migrated and might left some of their workload in a different platform. We use this tool as common grounds for us to communicate and for you to communicate with our amazing FinOps service. Our FinOps department is comprised of experts, global experts, I would say, and data analysts that are there in order to proactively analyze your environments and to proactively provide recommendations on top of CloudEarth. These sets of the recommendations that we provide our customer are being sent to you, and we initiate cost optimization meetings whenever we feel and we know that it's the right time to actually go and act on our suggestions. How do we use all of those resources? You probably ask yourself. So when onboarding to CloudZone, we basically analyze your needs. We understand where you need more resources, and we know how to flexibly kind of move around between the resources so you'll get the best out of our services. You know, when you're just starting and you have a very small account, you're probably going to use more of the technical consultancy capabilities. And when you're heading towards the $100,000 a month AWS workload, you probably really want to monitor your cost and use our FinOps services. So again, this is very flexible and it's all there for you. 2 more services that are not part of the core services but are available to you is a delivery service. We're able to take any product and deliver it. So we have a professional services team. Sorry. And we have a 24/7 public cloud operations center, which basically complements our tech support team and provides monitoring and remediation for customers who require high SLAs or high availability for their customers. Okay, so ask us if you'll ever need such a service, or if you currently need such a service, we're available. So I want to wrap it up and help you focus on the reason why to choose CloudZone as your migration partner. The first thing will be a premier consulting partner. We are exposed to migration programs that anyone else is not exposed to. We know AWS. We will be able to source the force for you. Okay, our familiarity with AWS, seeing dozens of migration paths, designing hundreds or maybe thousands of architectures in AWS, help you get the most out of it and take you from from A to B a lot quicker. So time to market really makes a difference here, and also cost effectivity. On-prem or cloud, we're everywhere, okay? Whether you're currently on-premise or your workload resides on another cloud platform, Cloud Zone architects and professional service teams are familiar with your current ecosystem, okay? We know how to speak the language on-prem, Azure, GCP, and we know obviously how to speak the AWS language, and that's a huge advantage we're going on such migration. It's important to know that, you know, when working with several vendors, you can trust us for being a trusted advisor and for taking you to the right decisions for you and not for anyone else. Whether it's an advanced technology, whether you think your migration is very complex or massive, bring it on. We're not afraid of any project. We've taken some very challenging projects this year and managed to bring them home successfully. And so we welcome you to challenge us with every possible challenge. Let's discuss, let's sit. We'll bring the best folks to the table, and we can take this migration to AWS as well. You've all seen the process, and it's very streamlined, and we know what we do. It's a blueprint, okay? And the blueprint is ready, okay? Just start the first step, schedule a discovery session with us, a discovery workshop with us, and let's do it. We'll take you through the various steps. As you've seen, the first phase will basically determine the go, no go. So without any commitment, you can go ahead and start this process and continue all the way to a successful migration. And finally, in the rare cases where we need additional resources, okay, bear in mind that we are always part of the bigger Matrix family. We have the necessary width and depth to bring on any resource or expert in order to make this project successful. So if I look at all 5 things, Cloud Zone is the way to go when considering a migration. All you need to do is basically contact us at contact@cloudzone.io, schedule a migration discovery workshop, and let's start by having a conversation, okay, around your challenges, your business, your roadmap. We really welcome you, and we're actually very thankful for all of you who attended this session. And now I want to actually have a happy customer describe his migration, a very complex migration, one of the most massive migrations that we've done with AWS this year. And I want to invite Moshe Moses, the CEO and founder of Gamoshi. We actually recorded the session due to COVID. We recorded the session ahead of time. So let's press play. Thank you. We'll go back to a quick Q&A session right after that.
Hello, my name is Moshe Moses, and I'm the CEO and co-founder of Gamoshi. Gamoshi was founded 5 years ago with the vision to become a leading technological provider for the advertising and marketing industries. We recognize the challenges that a lot of the companies are having keeping up with the fast pace of changes in our industry and tech evolution, and the large investment needed in order to develop the right infrastructure and to support it over time. We saw that need, and we created an advanced programmatic infrastructure as a commodity that companies from all sizes can use. Gamoshi is offering an advanced, robust technological suite comprised of a programmatic infrastructure layer and a pluggable services that can act as one efficient integrated advertising platform. Our programmatic platform removes technological barrier, provide brands, organizations, and companies the tools that they need in order to participate successfully in the digital advertising world. We chose AWS for several reasons. The first and foremost is the wealth of the services, maturity of the platform. We sell infrastructure as a service. We require a variety of solutions at our disposal in order to solve real-time problems efficiently and quickly. AWS provides the necessary wealth and depth of solutions and templates to suit this requirement. You can easily move, mix, match to create the best, most efficient solution for each customer specific needs. AWS also drives higher utilization and high value of cost efficient. The AWS higher quality of services enable our customers to maximize their investment and drive more value to our platform. Our platform is based on 90% spot instances, and we work in a real-time environment, so every uptime second counts. Widespread mature networking enables better performance, as many of our customers are already running on AWS. Big data capabilities. Gamoshi offers its customers an analytics dashboard that is heavily dependent on big data capabilities. We moved our entire data platform using services like Kinesis, Redshift, and third-party vendors like AppSolver. AWS and CloudZone guided us through their startup program to maximize the value we can achieve. When we started thinking about migration to AWS, we were looking for a real partnership and guidance. Moving to AWS is a complex challenge. Getting familiar with the wealth of services was not an easy task, and I wanted a partner that can steer, guide, and hold our hand throughout this process. CloudZone has dramatically shortened the research time, helped narrowing down the wealth of alternatives, and locked down on the right services and the tools to use. CloudZone support enables us to stay up and running 24/7 throughout the migration project. CloudZone architects help design a robust, sustainable, and cost-efficient infrastructure in a very demanding ecosystem. CloudZone deep experience in infrastructure, architecture, Kubernetes, and big data was key to the success of our project. We are a startup supported by investors. We need to justify such a move. CloudZone exposed us to AWS support and funding programs and led the entire process with the AWS team, resulting in a great ROI and smoother migration to AWS. Our setup is almost ready. Now we need less attention, but still have daily interaction with CloudZone for practical support and, of course, brainstorming. I want to thank AWS and CloudZone for pushing us through successful migration. Moving forward, CloudZone have become essentially our DevOps team, exposing us to new features and helping us in our day-to-day tasks. Looking ahead, with AWS and CloudZone as partners, we'll continue to discover new ways to improve our platform and give tailor-made services to our customers.